Hello, Bochi! And in the garage today we have a little Fiat, few things to do in this car, a bit of a service. We've just cleaned up the headlights for him there, and we have a drip on the floor. It's a dripper, we've got a dripper, and ooh, don't like a look at that. Well, it's pretty plain where the leak is coming from there. We have a perforated sump. So these type of wee cars here that don't have an under tray, they tend to get hit on that face there with all the muck and the road salt and the water of the day, and just starts to pit there, and yeah, it's just giving way there at the front. So there'll be a tiny wee pinhole there, and yeah, there's dripping away there. So we need to look at this. How are we going to get this off? Well, we'll have a catalytic converter there. There's our oil filter, and we'll have a few bolts that are sunk into the gearbox. We'll have a flange there. Let's see now. Just sliding along here. So we'll need to kick that flange off. She's buried in the bell housing a wee bit, and there's a couple of brackets there, a few bolts, and yeah, the exhaust splits behind the sump, so taking that part of the exhaust off isn't going to be any good use. That bit there is all one up onto the manifold, up in there, we can see it. So manifold, cat, and a bit of downpipe there. So I wonder, will this come off without taking that exhaust off? I don't know. It might, like. And on the back here we have, if we can get you into that, we have this thing here, which is a bracket, a support bracket that goes up onto them two bolts there, those two bolts, I should say, and that's bolted with those bolts there. So a few bolts to zip off that bracket. Well, drain the oil out of it, and we'll see what we can do. Start loosening those bolts there. So that's about it. Sump replacement on a Fiat Punto. So a few fixing nuts and bolts out of the gearbox and that bracket there, and yeah, every bolt's a different size there. So we'll have a wee look up here. This plate then isn't going to clear this O2 sensor, so I've that loosened off, and get that out of the way, and hopefully this plate will just come down. So get that down there, and okay, we can see the rest of the bolts there, and alright, we'll zip all these bolts off, and we'll have the oil drained out as well. Okay, that's all the bolts out all around then, so double check they're all out. So these ones here, I know from experience, these are held in. It's whatever glue they used, the sealant that they used on these Fiats. It's like a rubberized type thing, and a rubbery type sealant, and this is going to be very tight. So I'm going to try and break that. We're trying to free it up by hitting a couple of welts on either side with a dead blow hammer on either side here, and because we're changing the sump, you just need to watch. You don't want to dent it too much, so you don't want to, go right in, completely destroy it. But obviously there's a drain behind in there, or not a drain, a pickup. What am I talking about? So anyway, here we go. Right. So just give that a good old tapping, well, more than a tapping, right round. It just weighs a wee screwdriver in there to help her along her way, and whenever you know she's starting to go, you can hear the noise changing, the tone. It gets very bassy. Oh, like I said to that. Whoa. Well, that's definitely releasing this side. So, yeah, we'll just work around it. That's coming rightly. Right, we got a wee small screwdriver in there, and that's us now, but it ain't us now. Well, our sump is now sitting on the exhaust, and well, two options. You know, take this cat off manifold and all that, carry on, or it's hitting the crank over here, and it's preventing it from sliding out. But I think what I'm going to do, instead of taking that crank wheel off, you know, going to all that hassle and then it still mightn't come out, I'm just going to bite the bullet. And I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to have to. I'm going to start taking this downpipe off and all that jazz. So if I do, I'll just bite the bullet and go ahead and do that, because it means this here will, you know, the new one will go straight up on a lot easier as well, rather than trying to slide it in. Sometimes you can get away with sliding it in. I did the one a couple of weeks ago, and I was able to do that. There must have been a bit more clearance or something, but I think on that one the pipe maybe stopped about here, and then there was a connection. So once I got that connection off, I still took the back part of the exhaust off in that case, you know, that bit. But in this car, that flange is way behind the sump. You know, the previous one I did was there, but you know, it's the shape of this sump as well. You know, it looks as if it's clearing here, okay. You can see there's a bucket of clearance, but the sump isn't flat at this point. You know, so that's the shape of it. So it's sitting on the exhaust at this point here. You maybe can't see it there. You can maybe see it a wee bit better there. So there's plenty of clearance here. Get a torch in there. There's plenty of clearance here, and here is where it's sitting on the exhaust. So it looks as if it's clearing, but it's not. It's just the shape of this sump. So there we go. Yeah, and bait, cat, manifold, that downpipe, all one unit. Offski. So that's our old sump pan removed. There she is. There she blows. And that's what we're going to use. That's what we've got to replace it with. It's a fairly cheap aftermarket job. And it's this BGA company here. I don't really use an awful lot of that company's products. But in this case, as long as this thing fits, I'm okay with it. Because this here will outlive the car, I would say. So it's certainly not an OE replacement, but I'm just going to check and make sure they're both the same. Yeah, it looks dead on. So, okay, we'll just get the old gasket off the bottom of the block. This is an opportunity to test out a tool that we got from America. This is the super scraper that was sent by Johnny's Speed Shop. So we'll just give it a wee light go on here just to see how this thing performs. And yeah, indeed, it's not bad at all now, I must say. So we'll just keep going with that. It's coming off rightly. There. Yeah. Some job, alright. So I must say the wee super scraper did a great job there. You know, it gets the residue off that's left on the surface. You know, so there's always like a skin that's left when you get the bulk of the silicone gasket off. And it gets that off as well, you know. So, yeah, it's an awful lot better than a blade type effort. So, one thing to do with it as well is give it a degrease. There's oil dripping constantly from the pickup, and you just give it a degrease with, I just put the brake cleaner on a rag. And the other thing to do as well is you want to degrease this one as well, especially if you had dirty fingers. I've given my hands a bit of a wash, and I'm just going to go around the surface with a bit of degreaser. The brake cleaner will dry fairly instantly. In this particular kit, as they call it, Sump pan kit, you actually get some of this, a tube of toothpaste. So there we go, may as well use it. And there she is. So the thing about this now is, you know, you don't want to put too much of this stuff on. You see an awful lot of times when you take sumps off, and you know, this stuff's oozing all over the place. So if it oozes out this way, it's oozing in the other way. The wee recess there, you want to get the silicone into the recess, about a 5mm bead. So I've cut this to suit and did a wee test on the old sump there to see what it looked like. So and it gives you, in this kit here, it gives you a key to put on the bottom there, so you can roll that up, you know, like a corned beef tin. So we'll put a wee bit on, and I'll show you the end result. There we go, just a bead around is all is needed, and it's about half a tube used up. And yeah, so that's it. And we'll let that sit for about 10 minutes. So what you want to do is let that form like a skin over it, and you know, let it sort of tighten up a wee bit. So you don't need to panic and get it on right away. And so I'm gonna have a cup of tea, let that sit for 10 minutes. Before we offer it up again, just do a final degrease on the maintenance surfaces of the block, because you know, if the oil dripping all over the place, and then we'll offer that up and get a few bolts into it, and that's about it. Oh, just another wee thing. See the bolts? They've been run through the wire wheel there, so all the threads of the bolts were covered in the rubbery silicone, the original stuff. So all the bolts are cleaned up, the threads are cleaned up, and that's so that, you know, you don't get a false sort of torque feeling on your ratchet. Is this thing stay in focus? And you know, so you want to have nice clean threads for going up in, so that you know you're snug. If there's any silicone debris, and especially around the bottom there, you know, you may think you're tight and you're not, you know. So just another wee tip. So there we go. Sump fitted dead on. And just looking at the silicone there, you can see just a wee ooze out, small ooze out from the edges there. More so around where the bolts go. And, you know, that's all you should be seeing. You shouldn't see a massive amount of silicone going out. If, you know, if you do, you may be putting too much on it. Less is more, nearly, when it comes to silicone and some of this stuff. And we do see oil pickups and oil strainers with silicone in it at times. And just get you zoomed in on a wee bit more there, so you can have a wee look. So that's what you're sort of wanting to see there. You can see it where it's coming out the edges there, and not too much, because if you imagine that's going to be like that on the inside, you know. Now another couple of wee things to note from there. The sump comes with a new sump on. We have seen them being loose on new pans. This one here, you can see there's a wee bit of red thread locker on it. That's the way it came. Good job. Looks good. Looks good. You know, looks dead on. This sump pan for an aftermarket one, fitted dead on. All the holes lined up perfect. And we got some of that black sealant in it, which seems to be like very like the rubbery type sealant that it's not RTV. You know, it's a bit coarser looking, and it's not just ordinary RTV that came with it there. So yeah, pretty happy with that. These, as I said, just need to tighten that. And one last thing is, you want to leave that silicone, or whatever it is in this case, sealant, overnight if you can. At least, you know, a lot of hours before, you know, you can put oil into the sump, okay, because it's just going to lie in the sump. But you don't want to start it up and you know, get the oil pump going and making oil pressure with that just still, you know, wet. So clearly it seems obvious, but I know people, you know, in a busy environment, people just stick these on, need to get the car out. The car has to be done by the end of the day or whatever. You really, if you can, you know, put the sump on and leave it overnight. So there we are now. That's I've got the engine bracket back on again, engine to gearbox bracket. That flywheel cover of that loose at the minute. That's for the exhaust clamp there. So whenever I get the exhaust on, that's able to move into position. Okay, and just a final wee nip up at the back, and put my studs in that came out. A lot of the bolts on the manifold, the studs came out, so I've already taken the nuts off them, and I'm going to put all the studs in and offer the manifold up and bolt her up the exhaust here. Heat shield on, a load of new bolts on the top. They're all melted, gone, corroded away. So that's really it. Get another, I guess, 2.8 litres of oil into this thing, fresh oil in it, and a filter, and away we go. And yeah, I've never had one like it, I can tell you. If you know, do what I showed there, I've never had a sump had a problem with them leaking around there. So I'm pretty confident. Again, check sump on. That's sort of like the final thing. I like to check it, you know, more or less right at the end. You know, let this cure, and you know, but you could do it now, because this is well bolted up. These bolts are put in a sort of zigzag cross formation. You know, so put a couple of center ones in either side, then on the perimeter, on the periphery, and then run them up nice and gently, so that the thing come up and nice and square. No idea what the torque of them is. Tight's tight, you know. They're quite a substantial bolt, but you know, you're holding this sheet of steel to the block, so you know you need to put them tight enough so they don't come out again. That's basically it. So okay, I think that's it. I'll wrap the video there. I need to get this car back there again, get the studs in, get the manifold on, get the cat on, and get the exhaust on, get a few litres of oil in it, and away we go. And in case you're wondering, the music by the late maestro, that is Ennio Morricone, who passed earlier this year, and this video will be a shared monetization with EMI Records. And but anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching as ever. Hope you got something out of it, and take care. All the best, and bye bye.